Love's for beginners, ain't no winners. It slips through your fingers, I ain't telling no lies. So F all the drama, F the karma. Just do what you wanna, promise you got time. Be you and keep looking forward. Don't you look backwards and you'll be fine. Come through and say what you need to. Don't let them put you down. Baby, let me tell you what it feels like. Being independent, no trouble inside. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Let me tell you what it feels like. Being no one's mama, yeah, do yourself right. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Come get your future, know you wanna. She'll never betray ya, she ain't telling no lies. So break the glass ceiling, find your meaning, make truth out of dreaming, yeah. Baby, let me tell you what it feels like. Being independent, no trouble inside. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Let me tell you what it feels like. Being no one's mama, yeah, do yourself right. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Be you and keep looking forward. Don't you look backwards and you'll be fine. Come through and say what you need to. Don't let them put you down. Baby, let me tell you what it feels like. Being independent, no trouble inside. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Let me tell you what it feels like. Being no one's mama, yeah, do yourself right. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life.
And we've got some breaking news on that book by Prince Harry, Spare, as it's called. It is the UK's fastest selling non-fiction book on record, we are hearing. And it's sold figures of 400,000 copies so far. That's across hardback, ebook, audio formats. On its first day of publication, 400,000 copies have been sold. The Transworld Penguin Random House, the publisher, said, quote, "We always knew this book would fly, but it is exceeding even our most bullish expectations. As far as we know, the only books to have sold more in their first day are those starring the other Harry, i.e. Harry Potter. But according to the latest data we have, it is the fastest UK selling non-fiction book on record." And Harry was paid $20 million for that book, we are told. So the publishers are getting a bit of their money back already.
Yes, the publishers are getting all of their money back. And Harry's also getting his money too. and the haters can cry more. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Thursday podcast. Please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe, and let me know in the chat that you can hear me, please. How's everyone doing? Are we getting through spare? I am the worst Sussex Squad Royal podcaster ever because I am struggling, guys. Like anybody that's ever written a book knows it's like it's a lot of work. So I've been listening as and when I can, but I'm getting through spare a lot slower than what I thought I would. But don't worry, I think by next week I would have had it all reviewed and done. Right. Let's see who's here. Zen, you said Harry's book gave you a lot of closure. Nothing else to say. Now they're free to roam. Let them roam. I'm glad you felt that way. I'd be interested to see how he finishes the book, like his last notes and thoughts. I saw someone said that they were happy that they finally caught alive. Hi, Judy. Welcome. Who was it now? Who was it that said that? Oh, Sarah, you love the song. Glad you love the song. Oh, it was Roseanne. Welcome to the live, Roseanne. Glad to have you here. Mary Cat, you said, I see comments that book sales aren't to people, but what's in store is crazy. They make crap up. Yes. I mean, listen, this book has been flying off the shelves, flying out of Amazon warehouses. There was no planet in this universe where Diana's son was not going to have a best-selling book. Like, this book was never going to flop. It was always going to be a success. And now it's even exceeded expectations. Yes, Valerie, very, very happy for Harry. All right, welcome to the chat, everyone, and thank you so much to the mods, as always, for doing their Lord's work. Let's get started. So this is me. Little life update from me. Enjoying my wine while I was watching Colbert and enjoying the lovely sunset. We had the nicest sunset in Lisbon today. Like, look at this. Absolutely wild, like a watercolor painting in the sky. Just a reminder to go and live your best lives. Get too caught up in the royal drama. It will come, it will go, it will pass. I feel like Harry and Meghan are in a much better place now. And I honestly think it's only going to go up from here. As we're going to see later on in the podcast, people are realizing what the flipping heck is up with the tabloids. So let's keep our spirits high, everyone. Love will win. And let's not worry too much. And on the Archwell website, they did give Harry a congratulations on the release of his memoir. His team said that they were proud of him, to stand beside him and celebrate as the world finally hears his story. Thank you for your courage, honesty, humor, and light. You've inspired us all. With admiration, your staff and team at Archwell, the private office of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Lovely. Also, Invictus is coming to Netflix finally. The new series from Archwell Productions follows a group of extraordinary competitors from around the globe, all service members who have suffered life-changing injuries or illnesses on their road to competing at the Invictus Games. Fabulous. And of course, the next Invictus Games is in Dusseldorf in September. Got my tickets for the opening and hopefully I will make it there. Also, more figures for Spare. The DC library has 30 physical copies in one library. 30 ebook copies and 25 audiobook copies of Spare by Prince Harry as of January 10th. All physical copies have been reserved or checked out. There are 394 holds on the title. 268 plus of those holds were placed over the last week. There is a line to get this book at the library. I don't know how ordering books for your library works, but if you know how it works, please do it. And if you can donate books, buy and donate books to libraries or community centres, please do that as well. And there is a good chance, well, it's going to happen that Harry's book will be put into the 1 million book sold Hall of Fame. And you can see some of the other titles. I can't actually make out many of the titles other than Twilight. And yeah, everybody else that sold over 1 million copies. I think I can see The Handmaid's Tale there or something. But yeah, Harry's book will likely go into the Hall of Fame. Now, all of this goodness is bringing out the salty rats. We had Petronella, who is on her definitely not sanctioned by the palace or the press tour, on yet another TV show. She was on Good Morning Britain the other day. Now she's on Talk TV, which of course is Murdoch owned. Piss Moron is on there as well. Gentle reminder that this is a woman who had an affair with Boris Johnson, and here she is again, definitely not sanctioned by the press, speaking on behalf of her friend Camilla. Side chicks supporting side chicks. We love to see it. Sisterhood. She actually, funnily enough, when she was on the show, she said something that was false, and Arthur Edwards, I guess, didn't want to stay on code and actually fact checked her and said, no, that story was not true. Embarrassing. Also, Meghan the Kelly, I didn't even want to mention this woman, but I'm only bringing her up because she tweeted a segment where she was, surprise, surprise, bashing Meghan, but Meghan, our Meghan. But what was so hilarious is both the responses and and the quote tweets were brutal. Nobody was having it. And what was so interesting is that the majority of the people who were commenting, they were not even Sussex Squad accounts. People were just like, what are you doing? What is wrong with you? And what's even more hilarious is everything that she was saying are talking points from the British press that have been debunked. And she sounded like a toddler. Or actually, no, not a toddler, a teenager in high school having an argument with their friend. First of all, Meghan, so let me tell you what you did. First of all, you lied about this. And that is literally how she sounded. I'm not even kidding. If you can bear listening to it, I had to switch off after like 20 seconds because it's just truly cringe. Go and watch it for yourself. We are literally watching a woman break down. How much do you want to bet in a few weeks or in a few months' time we're going to hear about some kind of, divorce papers have been filed or something? Because the way Megyn Kelly was going on in this segment, I don't believe that it was just Megyn Kelly, the character, who's salty about Meghan Markle. There is something wrong with this woman. Something seriously wrong with her. And what a fall from grace from being on one of the biggest networks on TV, because Hate Fox think it's trash, but it is a very successful network. One of the most successful networks. And to go from that to working for some petty little indie and having to spend your time bitching about Meghan Markle. What a fall from grace. I mean, didn't she get like 70 million or something for her exit deal after her last show flopped? So why does she feel the need to do this? There's nothing else that she can do. Don't understand it. Anyway, I'll go to your comments before we continue. Oh, these people. Sunshine, you're in the middle of part 2 reading the hard copy. Part 2 is that Captain of My Soul? Or is that part 3? Yes, Julia. Love wins, truth always prevails. And Washington, you have finished the book in 2 days. Amazing. You're better than me. Lottie, and do you know if Harry and Meghan's home was harmed by the storm? I don't, I'm afraid. I don't know. I don't know what part of Montecito got flooded. Really, she got fired from Fox. You know how bad you have to be to get fired from Fox. Exactly. I mean, isn't she, like, famous for having some rant about Santa's skin color or something like that? I don't really know what else she's famous for other than that and the fact that a bunch of women from Fox got, like, a payout or something because their former boss, Roger Ailes, was a dipstick. Surprise, surprise, one of the main honchos at Fox was a sexual harasser. She needs help. Yeah, she needs her coin, she needs her clicks. She should be talking about is Prince Andrew. Alright, on to the next thing. This individual. So there's a man called Ben McBean. Now, after the leaks started about Prince Harry's books, specifically when he talks about his time in Afghanistan, this individual started tweeting about him. Ben actually is pictured with Harry, so I think they did know each other during Harry's time in the military. And he tweeted, "Love you, Prince Harry, but you need to shut up. Makes you wonder the people he's hanging around with. If it was good people, somebody by now would have told him to stop." And no friend would talk like this. Now, I haven't actually read or gotten to the part where Harry talks about his time in Afghanistan, but I saw a small snippet of the book where he was talking about one of his fellow comrades. And I think I'm gonna come back to this in another podcast once I've verified this. I think he may have actually been talking about Ben. So if he was talking about Ben, or even if he wasn't, clearly this was someone who Harry was close with. It's just such a betrayal. And surprise, surprise, you've got British tabloid journalists trying to reach out to him. "Hi Ben, I'm a producer on Good Morning Britain. Please can you drop me a message on Sophie whatever whatever at itv.com. It's about something for tomorrow's show." So it's just incredible how quickly people will turn for a little bit of attention, for a little bit of clout, for a little bit of money. I guess he didn't get the honorable mention that he wanted to get. And I don't see why Harry should have to shut up when it comes to his family when every other royal reporter who keeps telling him to shut up has spoken about theirs. You've got Angela Levin here, or Angela Latrine, sorry, talking about how cruel and horrid her mother was. You've got Camilla Tominey talking about her alcoholic mother. Lady Colin Campbell talking about her mother's mental illness. Ingrid Stewart talking about how one of her parents was an adulterer. So all of these royal rota rats who keep saying that Harry should be quiet, they've all talked about their family members. And I don't feel that family members should be exempt from public criticism. I honestly don't, especially when said family member has done something truly horrible. I think when we allow things like that to slide, you're allowing for generational curses to continue. Now, that doesn't necessarily, I'm not saying that the best way to deal with it is to go running to the press. Of course not. But Harry's family is is a very unique family. It is the family, right? So how else is Harry going to express himself? But just to be clear, for the average person, not saying that you should go running off to the press, but you should be able to speak of your pain. Nobody should stop you from doing that. And in Harry's case, being that he comes from the family of all families, well, how else was he going to tell his story other than publicly, especially when they, along with the crooked press, have been telling his story for him all of his life? Right, also this popped up. Apparently the Church of England says it knew of slavery links and has a fund set up to address shameful past. The same Church of England who seems to produce a uncomfortable amount of reverence, and of course, Charles is the head of the Church of England. I don't know why the Church of England has decided to start up this fund now, but I will say, as I do with all of these things, I'm not interested in virtue signaling. I want to see invoices for checks and receipts and impact. I'm not interested in headlines. I'm not interested in PR fluff. So until I see those invoices, those checks being written, and some kind of impactful change, this is just water under a bridge to me. And there's so many more other things also in the present that the Church of England need to deal with. This is very, very disturbing. This is actually going back to 2018. This article says evidence at the inquiry concluded that the abuse was normalized because it was practiced by so many. Worse still, one member of the clergy believed that God had forgiven him and therefore his slate was wiped clean. How are so many people who are abusers being allowed to do this under the Church of England, the Church of the Monarchy? That is so disturbing. Anyway, moving on, is one person who seems to be getting his comeuppance, Andrew Tate. He's been going around flapping his gum about Meghan and got into beef with a teenager, Greta Thunberg, on Twitter before being arrested. So it's now come out that he, trigger warning for anybody, by the way, who is triggered by anything regarding assault. He texts a woman saying, "I love R-ing you," describes strangling her in an audio that she shared with the UK police. The police told her there was an ounce of doubt that prevented them from prosecuting him. I don't know how you can get an ounce of doubt when somebody is literally admitting to assaulting a woman. And the reason I bring this up, other than the fact that Andrew was flapping his gum about Meghan, is that one of the things that Andrew Tate has said is that he left the UK for Romania because he felt that it would be easier to get away with what he wanted to get away with in Romania. And now we're finding out that the UK authorities did not put him in check when they could have. And ironically, it's now the Romanian authorities who seem to be, getting the job done, probably feeling a little bit embarrassed. But it's just a very sad state of affairs when it comes to the UK justice system. If a man can literally be admitting to assaulting a woman and the authorities don't do anything about it. And apparently there were multiple victims and multiple opportunities to stop this man. And he's now spewing his vitriol and influencing other men and young boys. Divine Feminine, please get rid of these ones, please. Right. There's something else. I don't know how true this is, so I'm just going to take it with a pinch of salt. They are reporting that Charles may get a new gold coat for the coronation. The reason I say that I'm taking this with a pinch of salt is because we actually have a gold state carriage, which is specifically for the sovereign. I think the last time it was actually used was one of the previous Jubblies, not the one that's just gone past, the one before, I think. And so I have no idea why they would want to make a new one, because the one that we do have, mind you, is over like 200 years old or something. So it is a part of, history when it comes to these ceremonies, and to make a new one when everything that's going on is going on, totally tone deaf. If he shows up with a new gold carriage, I hope everyone in the crowd has eggs, because this is going on. You've ambulance crews who could announce new strike dates. So oh god, I don't even know why I'm laughing, because this is like not even funny. But you better not bust a gut, break a leg, have anything happen to you, because you might not have an ambulance show up, or it won't show up for a long time. Like, this is where we are, folks. Um, they're also saying that a lot of people could be under risk of mortgage default. Not particularly surprising due to rates of inflation and the rise in the cost of living. People have to put their money in other places. And then I saw this, which, I mean, how sad is this? An NHS nurse on TikTok was earning £13 an hour and then moved to Australia. She earned £17 an hour working in an ice cream van. I totally believe this to be true because I have an Aussie friend. We actually had this conversation about pay in Australia and how she's still able to have disposable income and how the pay is a lot better. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if this was true. But it's just a pretty sad state of affairs right now. And you have a government that isn't particularly, I don't think, particularly interested in fixing anything, rather enriching themselves. So there are people fighting back, of course, as there all is, but there needs to be more mass action, or else I don't see that there's going to be change. Right, I'll go to your comments before I continue. Welcome to the chat. If you just come in, everyone, hit that thumbs up button. See. Patient, she said, some people are so jealous of Prince Harry and Meghan. I was shocked when I watched one interview on GB News when someone who was being interviewed said he hates Harry and what he's doing. Oh, God. Yeah, he hates Harry for ruining the fairy tale that was based on a lie anyway. Is that what you hate him for? Giving North Korea vibes for real. Rahini, question, if the Sussexes stay quiet, will all of these royal rodents stop talking about them? Of course not. So these fools need to stop. Exactly. They pretty much went into hiding during lockdown. We barely saw them. And the press was still relentless. Not only was it relentless, it was incredibly threatening. Do you remember all of those articles about Harry is making a car crash decision? His actions are like a car crash. Those are the type of headlines that they were posting at that time when they hoped that he would leave his wife and children. Disgraceful. Benjamin, what can you expect from a church who is about to appoint 2 doctors onto the throne? Yeah. Mary Cat, I wonder if Kelly says this crap because she wants to be back on Fox. Oh, I don't think they'll have her back on. I don't think they'll have her back on. Especially because she got that payout regarding the whole Roger Ailes thing. Ruth, new gold coach. Sure, why not? I mean, are the peasants and subjects really going to protest if he shows up in a new gold coat? I kind of want him to do it, to be honest. Leslie, I work with some male coworkers, who love Andrew Tate. Do you know what? I'm kind of grateful for Andrew Tate in a way because I feel like he does vocalize the worst of what his ilk think. And so I feel like now it's given us an opportunity to know who to stay away from. Benjamin, you said, Duchess, I recall you stating the coronation was going to be fancy after Charles said it was going to be scaled down. Yes, apparently he changed his mind. He wants all of the pomp and pageantry, darling. I'm here for it. Bring on the pomp and pageantry. See how the masses react to that. Let them eat cake. Charles just keeps slapping the British public in the face. And the royalists seem to just love it. They were actually out and about today, again, the royals. And there were people there who showed up, the same as they were out at the Christmas Sarandon walk. They all came to stand in the cold. Girl Lewis, it's $29 in Australian dollars per hour for working in an ice cream van. Are we all moving to Australia now? Because that is a pretty darn good wage. Like, wow. Yes, Marina, I've heard that the pay in the US and Canada actually is a lot better. I know a lot of nurses that are moving to Canada now. A lot of teachers. I know one girl who did teaching and she now teaches in the Middle East. She worked in Qatar, she also worked in Dubai. Well, I need to love or move to Australia if they're paying that much for working in an ice cream van. I almost moved to Australia, y'all. I came very close. Like I wanted to do the whole holiday working visa thing and see if I could, take that route to citizenship because I have friends who live in Australia. But it just never really worked out. We can't afford cake. We can't even afford the eggs to make the cake. Right, on to the next thing. Richard EdeN. Or as we like to call him now, Maureen, which is his burner account. He's actually blocked me, by the way. I am blocked by Richard EdeN, along with Piss Moron. His ass was dragged, and rightfully so, by M. Clarkson. M. Clarkson is the daughter of Jeremy Clarkson. Jeremy Clarkson, who said that he wanted Meghan to be stripped naked and have BCs thrown at her while she walked through the streets. And he posted that, of course, the day after he went to lunch with Camilla and Piss Moron and some others. And at the time that this happened, M. Clarkson came out and said that she did not endorse bullying of any kind. She basically pushed back against her father. And I did wonder how the press might react to that. And here we have it. Richard EdeN, Palace mouthpiece, posted this in his EdeN Confidential article. Clarkson's girl dons skimpy top gear. I think this is completely and utterly disgraceful. I see a beautiful pregnant woman showing her body. I think it's, very tasteful. I didn't see anything sexual about this image at all. And they've completely sexualized her. Don skimpy top gear. This is exactly how the Daily Fail talks about women on its website. If you look on that side column and you look at how they talk about different female celebrities, it's pretty much this type of language. But M. Clarkson posted this response on her Instagram. She said, "I am a grown woman. Use my effing name." They didn't even use her name. "Pay Alex Cameron for her art and grow the F up using this horribly tired, sexist, lame language to sexualize a maternity shoot." Now, the photographer, Alex Cameron, she was on Twitter calling out the Daily Fail. They used several of her pictures, not just in the print, as you can see here, but also online. And they've also used several of her pictures in the past without paying her. So I think she did eventually get paid because it just went so viral. But initially, they did not pay her. M. Clarkson went on to say, "This is what I was raging about in my stories yesterday. I am so tired of being undermined by this piece of paper. It doesn't say Jeremy Clarkson's daughter in my passport. I can't open a bank account in that name, and you wouldn't address me as it in court. So stop producing my entire identity to it in print. If, as I suspect, I am not relevant enough for you to write about without his name, then leave me alone. Don't write about me. I'd love nothing more. It's been 11 years of this ish, and every time it happens, my anxiety spikes to 40,000 because I know your horrible journalism influences your horrible readers to be horrible to me. It started at 17, and I believed them when they told me I had a face only a mother could love. That I look smackable and like a fat bitch. I believed them when they said I was talentless and pointless and would be better off dead. It's been a decade and nothing changed, apart from me, who used to want to curl up and disappear when you wrote about me, but who now will fight back against your absolute horse every chance I get. I hate you and I'm going to do it, and I'm not going to do it quietly anymore. Richard EdeN, grow up. Either treat me as the grown woman that I am, my name, as the first in your articles, or admit that it's just plain weird to describe a girl as wearing something skimpy in your column. It's effing weird. It's weird. It's disgusting. It's what they have done to Meghan, to the Maxx, for the last 6 years. And notice she says, I wanted to curl up and disappear. That is what this bullying and hate does to people. Makes them want to disappear. And we know what disappear, I think, is code language for. Meghan said it. Jamil said it. Carolyn Flack went ahead and did it. Made herself disappear. Because of the way the trash, toxic British media tabloids treat people. Talk about people. Very strongly worded here from M. Clarkson. And unfortunately, it is individuals like her father who reinforce this culture. What he wrote about Meghan was disgusting. Dictators haven't been written about like that. I stay up at night grinding my teeth thinking about the day she will be paraded through the streets and have feces thrown at her. I hope, and I have high hopes, that this is the beginning of a big tide turning against these royal rodent reporters. And for those of you who have been listening to me for some time now, did I not say not only is the British press going to now become the story, but the reporters who are part of this machine will also become the story. And we're seeing it happen in real time. The Netflix documentary and Harry's book is doing the job it was meant to do. Tide is turning, and I will most certainly enjoy seeing every single moment of the British tabloid press being torn down to pieces, because it is a parasite on the UK, whether the UK realizes it or not. Right. Go to your comment before we continue. Julia Rock, the picture is beautiful. They exploit everything. Yes. All I see is a pregnant woman with her belly. Like what? what is there to sexualize or make a big deal about here? Yeah, Joan, it's creepy, gross, and yucky. Like, what possesses you to write a headline like that when you see a woman carrying a child, carrying new life? That is something beautiful. And the first thing that comes to your head is girl dons skimpy top gear. Like, are you okay? It really just shows you how they think, right? Cameron, I hope Harry and Meghan stay home with their babies, not going to the coronation. After these storms, they can easily excuse themselves, but honestly, Harry will simply say nope, not going to be there. Well, you never know. I mean, I wouldn't go. You got people out here burning books, photocopying the cover of Spare and putting it on other books and then burning the book. I think there'll just be too many people who are radicalized and riled up, especially at the coronation. I don't know. Phoebe, can all of these women who have been abusing the press get together and have a class action lawsuit in the UK? That's a good idea. That's a good idea. But I think they would have to be emotionally ready to deal with everything that's going to come with that. So I 100% support that. But it's going to take a group of very strong women. And men too, because men do get bullied by the UK press. So I just think one huge class action lawsuit or a huge campaign to change the UK press culture would have to happen with enough powerful people collectively. The problem is a lot of these celebrities don't want the press digging into their personal lives. So that's the other issue. But it's going to take that, and somebody has to do it eventually. Because this can't continue. Lottie, is Jeremy Clarkson still around? Well, his farm, Diddley Squat, recently just went Diddley Squat and is closing down. So he's probably dealing with the closing down of his farm at the moment. Joan, didn't he say he hated her with every cell in his body? Yes, on a cellular level. Like, it's just disgusting. Mary Cat, they're probably counting on people from other countries to go to the coronation. I hope nobody goes. Like, seriously? Who's going to fly all the way to the UK to watch Charlie get the big fluffy hat put on his head? Please. Please. Benjamin, why go? Nah, man. That exactly, Benjamin. That exactly. Oh, congratulations to Elaine on 9 months membership. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Church Nelly. You always point this out because you know that I can't see it on my computer screen, right? Thank you so much for being a member. Oh gosh, we actually have an Andrew Tate troll in the chat. Honey, please go away. Do go away. Go worship your top G somewhere else. Because your top G is a rapist. All right. I think I've caught up with your comments. So, yes, let's get on to the whole TK Maxx drama. Never in a million years did I think that TK Maxx, this badly organized designer discount store, if you've ever been into a TK Maxx, would be in a royal family story. But here we go. So, just to recap, just for context, in Harry's biography, he says the following: shopping for clothes was so much less complicated. As a rule, I didn't think about clothing, I didn't fundamentally believe in fashion, and I couldn't understand why anybody would. I often got mocked on social media for my mismatched outfits, my ratty shoes. Writers would flag a photo of me and wonder why my trousers were so long, my shirt so crumpled. They didn't dream that I dried them on the radiator. What, so he didn't even have a dryer in his house? Not very princely, they'd say. Right you are, I think. My father tried. He gave me an absolutely gorgeous pair of black Bruges, works of art, weighed as much as bowling balls. I wore them until the soles developed holes, and then I was mocked for wearing holy shoes. I finally got them fixed. Yeah. Like, why is the Prince of England like walking around like a character from a Dickensian novel? Wild. Anyway, Harry goes on to say, each year I received from Pa an official clothing allowance, but that was strictly for formal wear. Suits and ties, ceremonial outfits. For my everyday casual clothes, I'd go to TK Maxx, a discount store. I was particularly fond of their once a year sale, when they'd be flush with items from Gap or J. Crew, items that had just gone out of season or were slightly damaged. If you timed it just right, got there on the first day of the sale, you could snag the same clothes that others were paying top prices for down the high street. With 200 quid, you could look like a fashion plate. Oh my God. Like Harry literally talking like one of these, like bloggers who's like, this is where you get the top discounts, guys and dolls. Now, surprise, surprise, to everybody's shock, TK Maxx came out and denied Harry's claim about shopping at the retailer's annual sales. And I was just scratching my head at why a major retailer would make a statement like this. They said, whilst we're delighted Prince Harry is a big fan, we thought we should explain we don't actually do sales. A spokesperson for the brand told Express. Big clue there. They told the Express. Now I'm wondering, did they go to the Express or did the Express go to them? Instead, we offer great value, style, and savings all year round. This response from TK Maxx, which is known as TJ Maxx in the US, comes after Harry made claims about how much he loves buying his daily attire from the department store. And so the spokesperson told the Express this, but the story was amplified by the Independent. And the Independent, of course, now has a new editor who is a former tabloid rat from the Daily Fail. So we're all scratching our heads thinking, what is going on here? Oh, first of all, let's just clear up that Harry wasn't lying. Here is a headline literally from a British tabloid. Bargain hunt air. And that is Harry with a bag coming out of TK Maxx. And they also, TK Maxx UK also tweeted back in, so this was May 2013. Listen, shout out to the squaddy who found this. It wasn't me who found this, by the way. I do not take credit for this. This tweet back in 2013. Prince Harry spotted shopping at our High Street Kensington store. Jesus. Hashtag do your thing, Harry. And TK Maxx do in fact have sales. As they would, because they're a clothing store. How else do you get rid of anything that you didn't sell? Up to 90% off clothing, up to 80% off. TK Maxx UK, Happy New Year, lovely followers. Loving the January sales. I have no idea, well, I had no idea at the time, why would TK Maxx do this? So do you know what the first thing I did was? I started Googling who's the CEO of TK Maxx. Nothing came up initially. And then a very watchful squaddy found these. TK Maxx is linked to the Prince's Trust. That's Charles's charity. Charity with a small c, because I think there's dodgy money deals going on with that charity. You literally cannot make this up. Shout out to the detective squaddies, because wow. I was scratching my head. There's got to be a connection. There's got to be a connection. Couldn't find anything. And then I saw this come up on Twitter. And can't make this up. Tony Slipman, retail director UK and Ireland at TJX Europe. That's the group that owns TK Maxx. With a picture of him and Prince Charles in his LinkedIn profile. Guys.
Well. Next question. See ya.
Like how? Something as small and petty as this, Harry just mentioning that he went shopping at TK Maxx, and now we have to have the squad out here acting like the FBI to find the receipts. It's like they will not let anything go. Even something as small and petty as that. Are you serious? Are you serious? Anyway. And what is so unfortunate about all of this is the way in which Meghan was being described as a gold digger, that the reason he had holes in his shoes and he couldn't afford proper clothes was because he was spending all his money on her. And it was her paying with her credit card to furnish the cottage and bring her furnishings over from Canada and buying her own clothes or going to her designer friends to lend her things. I mean, struggle, love, but make it royal. Struggle, love, but make it royal. How is it that you can have an institution who flaunts all this pomp and pageantry, but their prince was walking around with holes in his shoes because they wouldn't give him a proper allowance? And at the end of the day, nobody is denying the certain privileges that Harry has had growing up. Of course, nobody is doing that. But it is still a form of emotional abuse when you do when someone who was born into this family, who didn't have a choice, it's not like he had a choice to be born into this family, and then restricting how much money he gets, and also restricting what work he can do, even if he wanted to make his own money. Because it's not like, if you told me that the royals were happy to allow Harry to have a job other than the army or make money in other ways, and he just chose to be lazy, then I would call Harry lazy. But they don't allow them to make their own private wealth. Or at least they certainly wouldn't allow him as a spare, other than his work in the army. So it is a form of financial abuse because they were restricting how much money he was getting. And that doesn't change just because he's royal. Abuse is still abuse. And I believe that they were deliberately doing it to dim his shine, to humiliate him, so that we had headlines about Harry's got holes in his shoes. A prince has hole in his shoes. Imagine. Anyway, only other thing that I wanted to mention was this that was sent to me by Lightside. Thank you so much, Lightside, for your great investigative journalism. So this was an article back from July 2016, and it's Farage, Murdoch, and Lebedev, and Fox break bread as told by Lily Allen. So the article says he has rallied against the out-of-touch media and political elites in the past. On Sunday, however, the UKIP leader Nigel Farage attended a garden party with media moguls Rupert Murdoch and Evagene Lebedev, as well as the Tory leadership candidate Liam Fox. And the whole thing was documented on Twitter by Lily Allen. Farage was pictured by the singer chatting to Murdoch and the host of the party, Lebedev, and a video she later deleted showed the UKIP leader smiling after she gave him a sarcastic hello. So that is the head of the Independent with Rupert Murdoch. So they're friends, along with being friends with Farage. A revolving door of crooks and liars and snakes and crabs and rats all in a barrel. And with that, I am done for today. I will take your comments as usual. Thank you so much for coming, everyone. You've been amazing. And like I said, I feel the tide is turning. Let's not worry too much. And to be honest, if they're getting TK Maxx to get involved in petty squabbles, that just tells you that they're losing. So I think we're seeing the beginning of an interesting turn of the tide. Yes, Rohini. Trolls, if you're going to comment, please at least send a super chat here. Buy me a coffee. Buy me a coffee, trolls. I mean, you're buying Harry's book and you're burning it. So buy me a coffee while you're at it. Thank you. Ruth, Murdoch tried to sell page-free nudies in the US, but Americans said a hard no to that. We don't see the tabloids here like that because we rejected it. Yes. And that type of content, I think in the US, it's like you have a space on the shelf for it, like the Playboy section, right? Whereas page 3 in the Sun is like it's a Sun newspaper that everybody reads every single day, and you've got those women on the page 3, so it's not like it's on a separate part of the shelf, in a separate space, part of the mainstream tabloid culture, right there on page 3. You could be sitting on a train with your little kid, and somebody's reading the Sun newspaper, and they're seeing that. Cameron, you said, I'm close to Montecito, but not in Montecito. I think many of the homes are up far enough, praying for Harry, Meghan, and their babies. Yes, I hope the homes are okay. I'm assuming, though, I mean, not to take away from how awful it is to have your home damaged, but I'm assuming if you're in an area where that is likely to happen, you've probably got more provisions for like insurance and stuff like that, right? So hopefully everybody should be up on their feet, and people are usually quite giving in these situations. So hopefully everyone will be able to rebuild. Rahini, I mean, so on the website, why is the word sell used? I'm confused. Listen, the whole thing was just petty. Oh yeah, and there was another thing. Oh, I don't know if it loaded. There was another. Oh yes, this one. No, it's not that one. There was another one where they caught Harry shopping. He was food shopping, and he was buying budget meats. Don't know if I can. Anyway, I don't think I've got it here, but yeah. I mean, they really restricted his spending. Joyce, why do the media not check Google before they print? They have no ability to print facts and always lies. Well, I mean, they're part of the spin machine. So that's literally their job, to post lies. Oh, yeah, Mad Rod, the Squaddies detectives be on it, for real. I mean, we need to get them on some of these unsolved cases. Doing a better job than the police. Yeah, Sussex Squad International Detective Agency. I think I'm gonna make like a fake logo just for that. Oh my god. Joan, you know Camilla was behind this. Likely. Yeah, I just love our investigative squaddies. Like, wow. Oti, I don't believe that anybody ever did anything for Harry, but Meghan. Yeah. Cheryl, did the squad put TK Maxx on blast? Absolutely, they did. Best believe that they did. Even Omid tweeted about it. He was like, I can't believe that TK Maxx is part of the. Wait, what did he say? Let me try and find it. Omid said. Never did I ever think I'd be dragging TK Maxx on Twitter, but here we are. FYI, Omid's book. Oh, let's get ready for that one. That'll be the next one. Omid's book Endgame comes out on August 1st of this year. Just a reminder. LA, they gave H the worst housing, smallest allowance, wouldn't pay for his wife or a lot of the wedding. He really was just their spare, exactly. Literally just there for a spare organ, or if William slipped on a banana and cracked his head. Tanya and the royals were able to live unchallenged for so long. They've been living in a bubble of ignorance. Harry was a real life Cinderella and Meghan rescued him. Indeed. Yeah, Benjamin, they treat him like he's a stepchild. There is actually quite a derogatory term here. Well, it's used quite commonly in the UK. I don't know if there's other countries where they use this as well, but they literally say, like that horrid red-headed stepchild, and that comes from, and again, I don't know if this is common in other countries, but they used to be, I don't know if I call it discrimination, but I would say nasty attitudes towards redheads. So, like, even in school, people would say things like, "Oh, you're a ginge," or just like really nasty things about people with ginger hair, which I never understood because I think red hair is really beautiful. But it was like a thing that people used to say about people with red hair. So I'm sure they used to say things like that to Harry as well. And wasn't Charles actually unhappy because he had red hair? Yes, Ruth. Tyler Perry said it was abuse. T Baby, and you said it. Stripping Harry of everything was trying to force him and them to come back. Yeah. And it was never gonna happen. Megan already had her own money, her own connections. I mean, as soon as they left, I feel like that's when life for them really began. Thank you, Black Queen, for reminding everyone to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Oh, and I think I saw that Harry's actually donating some of the money to Santa Barley. And who else? I think Well Child might be getting some of the money. Anyway, he's donating some of the money to some charities. So another nice show generosity. Hey, Fideli, you're just joining. We're just going through comments. We are wrapping up. Indeed, they always wanted to degrade Harry. Yeah. Really awful. All right, who's going to get the last of the day? Jen, apparently Harry was not supposed to get married. Yes, he was just meant to be a forever playboy, effing up and being a mess and a distraction for William. But I have a feeling that we have some squaddies working for the FBI or CIA. Maybe. There's some squaddies who I speak to behind the scenes. One of them is a high-powered lawyer. Wouldn't surprise me at all. I think we'd be very shocked he's in the squad. Global audience, very diverse, different ages and backgrounds. I mean, I'm sure that probably some very interesting people who listen to my podcast, and I'll never know. I actually met someone who knows my mum, who works with my mum, but she didn't know that I'm my mum's daughter. So she listens to the podcast, but she didn't know that my mum is my mum. And I met this woman randomly. How weird is that? Oh, thank you so much, Joy Amore, for the super sticker. Much appreciated, darling. Yes, Harry, Lottie, this is Harry like nobody. And now he gets to eat fresh organic fruits and vegetables from his back garden. and Archie's Chicken Inn. There's no shortage of eggs at the Montecito Castle. Got Archie's Chicken Inn. And Megan is making sure her man is dressing well. He deserves it. Oh, dressing well. Got nice, bright, white Hollywood teeth. Hair is perfectly coiffed. Hydrofacials. Moisturizer. And fine, pristine bottled water. They're probably drinking nothing but Voss in that house. Marina. Next thing we'll hear Harry ate leftover food. Oh God. I mean, it's really looking like a whole Cinderella story, isn't it? And you still get the sense that Harry isn't even telling the whole story. Like, something tells me there's like a secret version of this biography with like even more dirt. Insurance policy. Oh yes, Live to Lead. Don't forget to watch Live to Lead. If you haven't watched it yet, I haven't watched it yet. Haven't had the time. I'm gonna have to read Harry's book first, and then I'll watch Live to Lead. Yes, Church, don't shop at TK Maxx. I've never shopped at TK Maxx, so I will continue to not shop at TK Maxx. Jessica, you said you're right. Harry and Meghan are gone. The royal family is living in the gilded ghetto while Harry and Meghan are on the other side of the moon. And what it took for them to be on the other side of the moon. Oh, don't come off. So the redheaded stepchild. Oh, it's a universal thing. Okay, so it's not just a British thing. C-Map, she said, we in the US love redheads. We don't understand the crazy discrimination. It's so ugly and wrong. Yeah. I think red hair is one of the most unique colors that you can have. Veronica, I'm so mad that Harry has such little money when his greedy father gets 12 million a year, plus the millions in cash bags that he's getting, running around getting money from nefarious figures. Thank you so much, Kim Peaches, for the super sticker. Thank you so much. Mrs. Monty, Harry is holding him back, perhaps because he hopes to renew his relationship with his dad brother. I don't know. I think even if he wants to, would they want to? Can they humble themselves in that way? I don't know. Leslie, well, we do have 3 more books coming. But are all of those books Harry's? Or is like one of those Meghan's? Any details that we have about the books on the book deals? I've only ever seen them from the tabloid press. So until I see these so-called other books, I won't make any assumptions. But I have to, well, okay, I will make one assumption that one of those books has got to be Meghan's. Because I don't think that they would sign a book deal that big just for Harry to write 3 books. One of them is going to be Meghan's. And if there are 3 books, what's the third one? All right, I'm going to leave it there, folks. Thank you so much. Let's dance our way out, and I will see you tomorrow. And yes, we will do call-ins tomorrow, okay? Ciao.
Love's for beginners, ain't no winners. It slips through your fingers. I ain't telling no lies. So F all the drama, F the karma. Just do what you wanna. Promise you got time. Be you and keep looking forward. Don't you look backwards and you'll be fine. Come through and say what you need to. Don't let them put you she'll never betray ya. She ain't telling no lies. So break the glass ceiling, find your meaning, make truth out of dreaming. Yeah. Baby, let me tell you what it feels like. Being independent, no trouble inside. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Let me tell you what it feels like. Being no one's mama, yeah, to yourself right. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Be you and keep looking forward. Don't you look backwards and you'll be fine. Come through and say what you need to. Don't let them put you down. Baby, let me tell you what it feels like. Being independent, no trouble inside. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life. Let me tell you what it feels like. Being no one's mama, yeah, to yourself right. It's like magic, living like a bad bitch. 'Cause baby, you deserve the best in life.
Question: did you get a chance to meet with the royal family? And if not, how was it like having them there in the building?
Jesus, Mary, and Joseph?
The Prince and Princess of Wales.
Oh, no, I did not. I'm only familiar with one royal family. I don't know too much about that one.